I am joined by second-year women's track and field head coach Derek Gay to spotlight the 2022 indoor season for he and the Trojans. Derek, you're in year two. What is different from year one? What have you learned, and how comfortable are you now getting ready to start your second year leading the Trojans?
Yeah, with the women's team specifically, it's just been nice to have another year. We were very young on the women's team last year, and still, I would say, are on the side of youth. But it's been fun just to have a year and a half now to really get to know them and just get a feel for everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and just a lot more comfort just with each individual athlete and how we go about training and all that fun stuff with programming. So yeah.
The headlining returners for your women's team this year are the 4x800-meter relay national champions from a year ago. There are three seniors and a junior, and Abby Brennan, Giovanna Domaney, Corinne O'Leary, and Brooke Studnicki. How have their practices gone so far, trying to go back and go 2 for 2 and defend that national championship?
Yeah, those are four fun girls to work with. I love watching them just run laps for days, it seems like sometimes. But yeah, their training has been going really well. Very excited to have all four of them back and see what they can do in that 4x8 for sure. And believe all four of them can qualify in individual events, and we've got some other options as well. But certainly it's fun having an entire relay team that won a national championship, all of them back for another year. So it's been definitely a lot of fun.
And they're obviously a bigger part of that women's distance program that Quinn White is spearheading. Last year, they had to balance track and field practice with the cross country national meet in the spring. This year, they are 100% focused on track all the time. How much of a benefit is that to the track program that they're not having to go train for different events, longer events maybe than what they would normally have to train for with just focusing on indoor track and then obviously outdoor track?
Yeah, I think mentally, more than anything, it's just a big kind of weight off your shoulders. You don't feel like you're being torn two different directions. Again, I feel like we did a great job. Coach Q handled that extremely well last year, and obviously the results speak for themselves. They performed very well at the women's team did really well at indoor nationals, cross country, and outdoor nationals. So they had just a fantastic season overall. I think this year having the ability to just focus on track and field and not have to necessarily worry about some of those other things, and even like the COVID stuff and testing before nationals and then testing before indoor and outdoor nationals for cross country. And yeah, it's just a lot less that we have to worry about, I think. So it should be hopefully mentally just a little bit easier on them this year.
On the sprinting side of things, you bring back two really strong competitors in Patience Saka and Audrey Altum. Audrey's already qualified for the indoor national championship. She was one of a handful of athletes to compete back in December. Having those two back for another year after both making the outdoor national championships, Patience making the indoor national championships as well. What does that mean for the sprinting side of things, having those two back and ready to go here in 2022?
Yeah, very excited about both of those two. A lot of girls were excited about, but those two in particular, we just, we had a great season last year. Audrey actually struggled a little bit indoor, so that was a lot of fun to see her open up the first meet, hit that B standard right away. I think all three of her times at that December meet would have been season best and PRs last year. So that's definitely very cool to see her open so strong this year, and certainly having Patience back just with a lot of versatility there. We'll hopefully be able to contribute, very high amount of points at both the conference and national levels. So, and then again, both of those girls come back next year too. So it's going to be a lot of fun for a couple of years, I think.
Yeah, you'll see Patience Saka a lot, both sprinting and jumping and pretty much anything you can find her, I think she competes in, right?
Most definitely. Yeah, we put her wherever she can, fill a spot for sure.
You big also news on the schedule this year, not only getting to host the Crossroads League Indoor Championships after hosting the women's side a year ago, but you're bringing back a regular season home meet here inside the Kessler Student Activity Center. What's the excitement level like to be able to compete here at home, not once, but twice here in 2022?
Yeah, I think it's high. We mentioned on the men's side, just not having to worry about some of those things that travel kind of brings into the equation, and having just a greater presence from like the campus community makes it a lot easier when we're home. I also think it brings a level of comfort sometimes that you can work on some things or be a little bit more aggressive and work on some different race modeling strategies and things like that I think are a little bit more difficult to do at an away track. We practice there every day. We're familiar with the markings and just the structure, and even the layout of the facility can sometimes be just comforting. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it can actually help, and you can do some more aggressive things that you might not be able to do at another facility. So
As I mentioned earlier, a couple of athletes got to compete back in December. This Saturday in Indiana Wesleyan, the whole roster gets to compete. What are some of your goals as the whole team gets to start their 2022 season indoor side as a whole unit?
Yeah, the women's side, for sure. The goal is, you look at what we did last year at the conference level, and we think we're definitely within striking distance of potentially bringing, a conference championship home. I say we only lost two. It was a really big two that we lost, in Livy and Sarah. Those are two big dogs, but we returned most of that women's roster last year. So to see what we could do potentially, it always kind of depends on how other teams are doing and all that fun stuff. But we definitely feel confident on the women's side and what we think we're capable of. Definitely indoor, and then that's kind of a litmus test for what we think we can do outdoor. So,
Derek, thanks for the time. Best of luck this weekend, and best of luck not only at the league championships, but also here on January 29th when you guys get to host a lot of teams coming in for the first home regular season indoor meet in a while here at Taylor.
Thanks.
That is Derek Gay, the women's track and field head coach, joining me today. For more up-to-date information on Taylor women's track and field, just log on to TaylorTrojans.com.